Hi, folks. I see lots of you signing on. We're going to wait just a few minutes. We have many RSVPs. We're excited to have you with us today, our new students, our families and supporters. Please feel free to throw in the chat why you're excited to join SU, why you chose the SU community for your next step in your adventure. And after a few minutes, we'll get officially started. All right, I think most of our folks have joined, so I am going to get us started. So welcome, folks. We're so excited to have you join us for Red Hawk launch today. This is the official launch of your new student orientation. All of our summer sessions start after today. I know we've been communicating for weeks with you, and we're so excited to have you with us. And with that, before we officially jump into our program and welcome, I'll do a quick introduction. My name is Nick Cubitt. I'm the Director of Orientation Programs here at Seattle U. I'm excited to have you here as the newest members of our Red Hawk community. We have a quick, informative, and engaging plan for this hour that we have together, including many leaders and some of your new peers across campus who are joining to welcome you. And so as we convene together today, let me just do a quick change to my other slide. As we convene together today, I want to share a land acknowledgement. If you're not familiar with this practice, the following statement is offered as a way for our community to recognize the land on which Seattle University sits and our history, to honor the people past and present who belong to this place, to create common and consistent language for our events and ceremonies, and to have language that was crafted with care and wisdom. As we begin our gathering, we respectfully acknowledge that our campus sits on the homelands of the Coast Salish peoples, who continue to steward these lands and waters as they have since time immemorial. We recognize tribal nations and organizations who actively create, shape, and contribute to our thriving community at Seattle University and beyond. We as an academic community should be and are committed to doing our part to engage with and amplify the voices of Native peoples and tribes. We acknowledge our collective responsibility to advance proper education of Native peoples and tribes and call for further learning and action to support the Native people of our land. So thank you, folks, for joining us in that opening moment. And before we get to a connection activity, we have a few leaders here who joined us today to help officially launch your orientation experience. So I'm going to stop sharing quickly. Okay, first we have our president, Eduardo Peñalver, who is here to welcome you to Seattle U. President Peñalver is the 22nd president of Seattle U and is starting his second year of leading our community. Prior to being named president, he served as the dean of Cornell University's law school and as a Rhodes Scholar and a professor of law who clerked for former U.S. Supreme Court Justice John Paul Stevens. Originally from Puyallup, Washington, right in our backyard in Seattle, President Peñalver has returned to the Pacific Northwest and is leading SU through many new and exciting changes. With that, President Peñalver, I'll pass the program off to you.
Thank you. Good evening and welcome. In joining this community, you're embarking on an amazing adventure that will change how you understand yourselves and the world. And I just couldn't be happier that we will be traveling on this road together. It's interesting to reflect on the fact that, and I'm going to apologize if I have like a little bit of a like a lisp or something. I went to the dentist earlier this afternoon, and the lidocaine is still not quite worn off. But interesting to reflect on the fact that this welcome event is taking place online. Last year when we held this event online, it was really for public health reasons. And the same was true of lots of events that we had online that used to be in person over the last couple of years. And COVID is still very much with us, but vaccinations and new treatments have really changed the risk profile of holding events in person. Just this past weekend, we held our first in-person commencement in 3 years at Climate Pledge Arena, and we had over 15,000 people there for that. I think what's interesting and different about this current student welcome event is that we're doing it online, not because of COVID, but because we can do it online. And that ability to host this event online allows us to extend your welcome over the summer, instead of kind of cramming you full of information in just a couple of days right before classes start, we're able to extend this out and have a number of events over the summer. And so, in that sense, I think this event is just a great example of how our experience with online learning during COVID has left us with tremendous new tools and skills to allow us to engage with you, our students, where you are and when you are, and using online events like this one as a supplement to the intensive in-person experiences that really characterize the Jesuit approach to education means that the Seattle University experience post-COVID will not be the same as it was pre-COVID. It will be better. As you begin your Seattle University experience, I'm really excited for what's going to happen here. I remember my own undergraduate years as a period of intellectual and personal growth that have no parallel in my life before or after. And I should say that I also remember when I was in your shoes feeling sometimes anxious and insecure. And I'm sure many of you have those same feelings as you join this new community and enter this new stage in your lives. As an undergraduate, I certainly sometimes felt lonely being away from home. I missed my family. I missed friends I'd left behind to come to school. I was looking in the chat as before we started, and you're coming from all over the place. Some of you are coming from really long distances, and that's a hard thing to do. So there were times when I was lonely. There were times when I doubted whether I belonged, whether I would make new friends, whether I was good enough. And I thought, oh, maybe the school made some mistake. I remember wondering that. And as a new president, I'm just starting my second year. I moved here from New York last summer. I can kind of relate to those feelings even today. But one message I want to give you is that as you begin your time here, that you do belong here, and that you are good enough, and that you will succeed here. We're very much invested in your success. And along the way, you are going to make some great new friends who will change your lives, and friends who you will keep for the rest of your lives. And I'm sure of this. I'm confident about this because I know what kind of community Seattle University is. And obviously, first and foremost, we're a university, and there's just no better place and no better time in your life to grow and to take intellectual risks and to explore new ideas than your time at a university. But Seattle University is more, whoa, just lost my notes here. Seattle University is more than just any other kind of university, right? Sorry, my screen just went blank. This is just going to take a second. We're a university that's built in the Jesuit model and committed to a unique set of values. And sorry about that. And I'm going to give you 3 reasons that this is just the ideal place for your intellectual growth and development. One is that I guarantee you, no matter where you come from, and like I said, looking at the chat, you come from all over the country, you come from around the world. You've never been part of a residential community as diverse as this one, with as many different kinds of people from as many different backgrounds, life experiences, all living and learning together. There's just no community like this, and that diversity will stretch you. And universities excel at this, bringing people together from a cross section of experiences and perspectives. But sustaining that kind of inclusive environment that allows a diverse community to really untap the richness that exists within it really requires a unique kind of community and a unique kind of effort. And that's something that Seattle University excels at doing. And not all universities have really been alive to these insights, right? And, until recently, many universities excluded women, people of color. Some continue to exclude LGBTQ people and others. And even among those that don't actively exclude, many fail to create and nurture the sort of inclusive and welcoming environment that I'm describing. But Seattle University, I think, stands out not only for its embrace of diversity, but for its efforts to create that kind of inclusive environment. And that's really the one of the three reasons I'm going to give you for my great confidence. And we're not perfect, and I think you'll find that things that we can do better, and we acknowledge that, right? That to have an inclusive environment is not something that you just achieve. It's really a process, and a process that always involves learning and reflection and improvement, which is very much in the Jesuit model of education. And so we acknowledge that we have room to grow as individuals, we have room to grow collectively as a community, but as a community, we're committed to doing that work. And I think we're really proud of the kind of community that we've created. And if you talk to current students or recent graduates, I think they'll all say that it's an area where Seattle University really stands apart and excels. The second reason for my confidence, is what I mentioned earlier, our Jesuit heritage, that we're not just a university, we are a Jesuit university, and Jesuit education is really known around the world for being extremely student-centered and for its commitment to educating and caring for the whole person. And we talk about that in terms of mind, body, and spirit. And from your point of view, this commitment to being focused on our students, to educating the whole student, means that unlike at other universities, we don't treat your intellectual development as a distraction from our research, from what we see as our main work, right? You are the reason we're here. I told the graduating students this past weekend at commencement that you are our mission. And I remember when I was a child visiting, you go visit homes of my parents' friends, and I remember two different kinds of homes. One kind of home was like a museum, and I was afraid to touch anything. I was worried that I might break something and get in trouble. And I'm sure you've been to houses like that. But my parents had another. They had another friend, a couple who actually lived not far from Seattle University, and their house was designed to be as inviting to kids as possible. It was full of art supplies. They had huge empty cardboard boxes all over the place that we could use to turn into forts, and they enjoyed nothing more than just kind of turning us loose with scissors and duct tape, and they were always around to help us put our ideas into action. And you can guess, which house was more fun to visit, but also where I learned more and kind of grew more. And I think the Jesuit approach to education is very much like that second house. It's this combination of guidance and freedom and structure and imagination, and it values work. It also values play, and it's been honed over 5 centuries, and it engages you as a person, your intellect, your spirit, and teaches you not only what you need to know, but also how to discover, and ultimately how to live a life of integrity. So for evidence of that approach, I think you can just look at our university's mission statement, which dedicates us to educating the whole person, to professional formation, and to empowering leaders for a just and humane world. And those words are literally painted on a wall outside my office, outside the president's wing of the administrative building. And I read them every day as I come into work, and it reminds me of why I'm here and why everyone that you'll meet at Seattle University, faculty, staff, administration, why we're here. And so just think about those last few words of that mission statement: empowering leaders for a just and humane world. And I think you'll find that contained within that very short phrase are amazing hopes for you and for the world. And for you, our hope is that you'll become leaders, the leaders of the future. And our hope is that the education you receive here will empower you, that your experience at Seattle University, not just in the classroom, but outside the classroom, with faculty and staff, but also with each other, will give you the tools to become more effective as leaders. And our hope for the world is that after you graduate, you'll take those tools and put them at the service of others, and helping to bring a just and humane world, or a more just and more humane world, into being. And as we look around the world today, we've never felt farther from that. We're grappling with the great challenges of our age: climate change, sustainability, the persistent racial and economic inequity, really rapid technological change, and all of the opportunities that creates, but also the destabilizing risks it creates. And we look around and we see a war in Ukraine, and we consider all the inequities laid bare by the pandemic and the murder of George Floyd and so many others. And it's clear that there's never been more of a need for leaders who have knowledge, for sure, but also wisdom, and leaders who believe in using their gifts to make the world a better place, not just to enrich themselves or their cronies. And there's never been a greater need for engineers who understand and are concerned with ethics and humanists who understand data. And so our hope is that you'll become these kinds of leaders at your workplaces, but also in your families and in your communities. And then finally, my third point, and then I'll stop, is that even among other Jesuit universities, Seattle University stands apart, and there are many ways we stand apart, but one of them came up in the chat, and that is our location in the heart of this really dynamic metropolitan region. Because of our location in the heart of Seattle, we're able to bring that city, this wonderful city, into your classroom, and then you can take the classroom and take what you learn in the classroom out into the city. So you'll find among our faculty and the guests who come to speak on our campus some of the most prominent leaders of our business, civic, and nonprofit sectors. They teach here or they speak here because we are Seattle's university, and you're going to love learning from them. And then on the flip side, in your time here, you're going to have amazing opportunities to go out into the city to learn and to serve. Our Sundberg Center for Community Engagement, our youth initiative, internship and externship opportunities with some of the most innovative companies and nonprofits in the world, or just exploring this amazing city of Seattle with all its strengths and certainly all of its challenges as well. And the city will become your classroom. And of course, being in Seattle means that you get to experience all of this while surrounded by spectacular natural beauty. Once you've lived here for a while, you can sometimes start to take it for granted, but it's just amazing when the sky is clear and you can see Mount Rainier, to just remind yourselves how fortunate we are to live surrounded by beauty. We have the ocean, the Puget Sound on one side, the water on one side, the mountains on the other, and there are just very few places in the world that offer that combination of a great city and spectacular natural beauty within such a short distance of our campus. And that beauty will engage your senses and nourish your soul, which is, again, the crucial goal of Jesuit education. So just describing these things to you tonight, describing our commitment to a diverse and welcoming community, our student-centered approach to education, and the way we engage with our unrivaled location makes me so excited for the experiences that lie ahead of you. And in the coming months and years, I look forward to sharing this journey with you. And so once again, I welcome you and look forward to seeing you all here in person on campus when we start up in the fall.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us, President Peñalver. Our next leader on campus is our Vice Provost for Student Development, Dr. Alvin Sturdivant. He serves as our Senior Student Affairs Officer and provides visionary and administrative leadership for a number of key departments, including orientation, toward fostering student success, engagement, retention, and an integrated learning experience. And calling in, we have you coming from the East Coast on a trip, calling into us today, with many of our students, I'm sure, calling in from the East Coast as well. With that, Alvin, I invite you to welcome our class to Seattle University.
Thanks so much, Nick, and good evening, everyone. As Nick noted, I'm coming to you all live this evening from Pittsburgh, where I'm attending a conference representing Seattle University. Let me extend my welcome to you all as well, the newest members of our Red Hawk community and family. As has been the case for as long as I can remember, this is one of my favorite times of the year, the start of summer orientation, when we launch a new class and welcome you all, the newest members of our community. And I imagine as we launch you, you bring with you joy, excitement, enthusiasm, and a commitment to learning and evolving, only matched by your passion for shaping and transforming the world we all live in. And despite the numerous challenges we've all faced this year, I think this is no different. Perhaps though this year, you also bring with you caution, nervousness, anxiousness, and a range of other emotions. Like all of you, I'm excited for your arrival to our bustling and vibrant campus in Seattle City, and look forward to having the opportunity to welcome all of you to campus in the fall and to be in community and fellowship with you when we can gather over meals and experience passing hallway conversations formally and informally, among the many other examples that represent the college experience that many of you have dreamed of for your entire lives, perhaps. And while that's certainly something to look forward to, there is much that happens between now and when you arrive in the fall that are critical to your start at SU and you're being able to fully maximize your experiences once you're here in the fall. Excuse me. What you do now and how you engage with us through the summer will make all the difference in getting you off to the best Red Hawk start possible. Through a balance of in-person and virtual experiences, SU is committed to your growth and development and investing fully in who you are becoming. And that begins with your orientation experience. And so I invite you all, I implore you to take advantage of all that is available to you this summer as an opportunity to get to know your fellow classmates, to get to know others of us who are currently here at the university, and really to learn about the various resources and support services that are available to you that will ultimately lend themselves to your being the most successful student you can be and to your having a thriving experience at the university. You too will need to think about what it means to be a Red Hawk. You'll need to think about how you will share your gifts and talents with all of us and what it means to fully commit to the co-creation of a dynamic and life-altering start to your Seattle University experience. This is a time when you will be asked to do your part. Wherever you are in the world, you are all a part of our Red Hawk community and family, and we're committed to ensuring that the person you are now is changed significantly by your SU education, and all of that begins now with your launch this evening. Seattle University will deepen your understanding and appreciation for the world you will inherit. As our president noted, at Seattle University, we are preparing you, our students, to understand and appreciate societies beyond the borders of the US, thus making you more productive in the workforce and better prepared for global citizenship. At a time when we're grappling with the continuation of COVID-19, racial injustice, and raging wars, at Seattle University, you will find leading authorities in your disciplines and your areas of study, sharing with you daily their insights and fostering your growth and development, but also challenging you to answer and help to solve some of the bigger issues and questions that are ahead and in front of us. At SU, we're also committed to taking an interdisciplinary approach to our current problems, regardless of whether their origins are within the realm of science or in the realm of human society. We value interdisciplinary inquiry and welcome your contributions as we work together to answer the really big questions, those whose answers outstrip any one discipline. What better time to be a new college student than when our world has in front of it many challenges that, quite frankly, your generation has the best chance of solving and advancing. Like any promising new relationship, these are exciting and anxious times for all of us, and we extend and deepen the connections between you and the university, again, beginning with this evening's launch. As we make meaning of old and new experiences, it will be critical for you to think about, again, how you show up in this space and in the other spaces that you will inhabit over the course of the summer and when you make your way to campus in the fall. At SU, you have the opportunity to become informed idealists, people who are impassioned about righting wrongs and making the world a more humane place. That is a deep connection to our mission. We are committed to helping you become grounded in the realities of the issues you'll face through your work and studies and how you have the ability to affect change. At SU, we will celebrate the power of your individual voice. We recognize that each of you is unique and not this collective body of students, but are bringing your full, authentic selves with you to campus. And we expect that we will embrace you and that you will embrace us and our institutional values and all that that means and requires. Those of you who seek to find your own voice, whatever it may be, will be guided through your relationships with faculty, staff, administration, your fellow students in the community at large. Here, you will hone your craft and gain the confidence to call yourselves experts in your fields and disciplines of study. We ultimately are counting on all of you to enrich the life of Seattle University, but also to enhance the cultural life of our surrounding community. Certainly, this can be a challenging time, but it requires an investment and a commitment from you to pursue opportunities to connect, whether virtual or in person, and to reach out to others when you feel lost or disconnected or isolated. As our president noted, these are all issues that you might encounter as a part of your Seattle University experience. And what I can assure you of is that you won't be alone in that. College, of course, is a great time, but also, as I noted earlier, it can be stressful and can result in feelings that perhaps you've not experienced up to this point in your life. And we will be with you at every step along the way. It requires that you move beyond your comfort zones and embrace our various learning and engagement modalities, and that you take full advantage of the many opportunities that are presented to you by the university. As you embark upon this new journey, the first step towards greatness as a member of our Seattle University community and eventually an alum of this great university, my hope for you is that you experience great joy and happiness and the academic rigor and challenge due your intellectual capabilities that resulted in your being admitted into our fine institution, and that you experience a lifetime of memories that will be forever in your hearts and minds that are rooted in the relationships that you have the ability to start building today with us and with your classmates. Seattle U will offer you a range of opportunities and resources, and ultimately it will be up to you to take advantage of all of them that are available to you. We can only further enrich your experience if you fully engage with us and are engaging in what we call reciprocity, that you're taking full advantage of everything that is available to you by virtue of your having chosen us in the way that we've chosen you. It may be difficult to imagine how to take hold of your SU experience given your experiences of the last couple of years, but the tools are available to you for making your start at SU an incredible one. We are privileged that you've chosen Seattle University and look forward to the great things that lie ahead, both for you and for us as a campus. Welcome to Seattle University. I look forward to engaging with you throughout the summer and welcoming you to campus in the fall. Go Red Hawks.
All right, thank you so much, Alvin, for calling in from a distance. And we're excited, like you said, that our new folks are joining us. So on that note, and speaking of location, give me a quick second to share my screen. I know a lot of folks have been putting questions in our Q&A, so please keep those coming. We're doing our best to keep up with those as they are. But now what I'm going to do is share my slide again. And so if my OLs can give me a thumbs up to let me know this is showing, awesome. So what you're seeing here is a QR code, of course, and what we want you to do is scan this. And so this is going to bring you to a tech tool, a website that is called Padlet. We have set up a map because we are super excited to see where everyone is calling or zooming in from right now. And so just a few instructions, and I will put these in the chat as well. Essentially what you need to do is go to the link and you can click the plus sign and you can click add post. Then you can enter your zip code or the name of your town in there and select it. After that, a little box will pop up and you can click publish, and then your location should show on the map. And so folks can take a little bit of time to do that. And let me open the chat. I also see we have the link in there for folks. Here are the instructions. I'll leave the QR code up for just another minute. And again, we have the link in the chat as well, but then I want to share my screen so we can see where everyone is coming from. Okay, I'm already starting to see them pop up. And I think for all of you who are logging in, you should be able to see on the map as well. Okay, so let me switch the screen I'm sharing so we can get the full view of the call here. Okay, awesome. All right, and I'll keep refreshing frequently. I see we have our Hawaii folks populating here. And lots in the Seattle area. I think that's that big 55 that we have. There we go. Can I get a little bit closer? Great, we have folks calling in from everywhere. Let me do a quick refresh to make sure we're getting everyone. It looks like, yeah, we have 263 folks of 265 have shared their location. And of course, my internet's lagging, so I think it's very slowly popping up here. Awesome. So this is just something quick and fun that we wanted to do. We thought it would be cool, just so everyone can share where they're coming in from. And I think it's super exciting to see. This is who your incoming class cohort is going to be. This is who you'll be in classes with and living in the halls with and exploring the city with, getting into deep academic conversations together over the coming years. And so we're especially excited. I don't know if it's going to let me zoom in at all because it's going a little bit slow, but I see a few more popping up, so I'll leave the map open just a little bit longer. I know you folks can see on your phones or on your computer screens as well. We have folks a little bit, we have folks all over Southeast Asia and East Asia, Africa, UK, Australia, some folks coming from Central and Latin America, a whole bunch of folks in our Hawaii area. I'm curious if these folks are calling in from Antarctica. I don't know, I might question that, but I'll double check our roster later. But, and of course, we're seeing lots of folks on the West Coast, which is pretty common, but lots of folks spread out throughout the Midwest and the East Coast as well. I see our Florida folks down there. We've got a handful of folks in the Chicago area as well. Super exciting. I think we have just shy of 300 of you posting where you're coming from. Okay, well, my map keeps zooming in and out, so I'm going to stop sharing that. Thanks, folks, for participating. It was super fun to see where everyone's coming from. And so, oh my gosh, y'all are too funny talking about the penguins and the icebergs here. You're cracking me up. But with that, next we want to take a few minutes to introduce our orientation leaders. An orientation leader, or OL as we call them for short, is a student leader on our team in orientation programs who is super eager to support you along every step of your transition to Seattle University. There are current Red Hawks that can help answer your questions, share tips about finding success at Seattle U, and also be a peer mentor for you to go to with anything that you need. You'll have a chance to meet with them every week throughout the summer for orientation groups and OL socials starting next week. But since you'll be interacting with them quite frequently throughout, we are going to meet the team. So let's get their faces posted up here. Let's pin all of your cameras here so we can get those intros going. All right, here you are. All right, so I'm going to pass it off first to Nicole, and then we'll take it away from there.
Hi everyone, my name is Nicole. I use she, her pronouns, and I am a rising junior. I'm studying double marketing and management within the Albert School of Business, and I'm really excited to meet all of you. I was kind of sneaking and reading all the chats that were coming in, and I'm so psyched to be able to interact with you all this summer and just really get to know you all during our sessions. So actually, one thing I wanted to talk about is one of the aspects that made me kind of really fall in love with SU and its environment is how kind, and I know this is going to make me sound like a suck up, but how kind all of the staff members are. I started my freshman year during COVID, so I didn't get to interact with that many people. But you know what? As soon as I entered my sophomore year and I started living on campus, I really quickly realized that whenever I would walk into an office, lost, dazed, and confused, any staff member there would be willing to offer me, a little bit of advice or inundate me with helping hands and free food, always a bonus for college students. So I just really appreciate the fact that SU is able to facilitate that kind of really genuine and warm environment. And that's something I've really come to love and appreciate as I've been here just studying and whiling my days away. So good to meet you all, and thank you all so much for coming here. Passing the torch on to Flo.
Hi, my name is Flo Seal. I go by she, her pronouns. I majored in criminal justice with a specialization in administration. One thing I love about SU is how small classes are, so that I can create meaningful and engageful relationship with my professors and peers, giving me a very fruitful experience as being a whole person. I'm gonna pass it on to Will.
Hey everyone, my name is William. I use he, him pronouns. I'm a rising senior and my major is computer science with a minor in business administration. One thing that I love about SU is the sport facilities. So, there are intramural sports that you can join if you folks wish to participate in a sports activity. So watch out for those. And yeah, I'll pass it on to Caitlin.
Hi everyone, I'm Caitlin. I am a rising sophomore. I am currently declared as a public affairs major right now. And I have many things I love about SU, first of all, but one of the things, kind of going off of what Flo said a little bit, is that I really liked the community and the kindness that all the small classes the professors have been able to show me. And I also really enjoy their availability and how they can reach out and actually understand and make time and effort for you. In addition, I also appreciate all the effort and all the clubs and organizations that the school has in order to get people involved and actually meeting one another. I think I'll pass it off to Joey.
Hi everyone, my name is Joey Oy. I use he, him pronouns, and I am an incoming third-year actuarial mathematics major with minors in finance and data science. My favorite thing about being an SU is how well the university encourages individuality. It truly feels like as close to a non-judgmental community as a community can get. What I mean by this is people in my classes sometimes come in full gothic Lolita maid outfits, and there's no judgment towards that. In fact, people are like, oh my God, that's so cool. So you can just be yourself and people are encouraging and supportive towards you all the time. And with this, you can also find many peers and friends who will share passions and hobbies with you. And it's just so easy to find community that you can work on projects together. And just another tip from my personal experience, it's really easy to get funding from student government if you want to host your own events or projects. And with that, I will pass it back to Nick.
All right, thanks, OLs. New students and some families, you'll be seeing a lot of these OLs throughout the summer, and then we have a whole bunch of additional orientation leaders joining us for fall welcome when we get there, who are going to assist with your in-person transition as well. But my next thing that I want to do is share my screen again. I want to do just a quick overview of our orientation program. And so I know we've sent a handful of emails, communications, and we've posted some things on our website, but I want to do essentially a quick rundown so that I can walk through some things with folks that I hope help to answer some of your big burning questions. I know we've had a lot in the Q&A. Please continue to put questions in there. Please email us at orientation@seattleu.edu if we don't answer your question, so that we can continue to support you. The QR code here is for our website. I also put a link for our website down. We have a few graphics on our main page that explain the roadmap of orientation and also a timeline of what you can expect more or less every week, including some of the big milestone days throughout the summer. But to give you a quick rundown, essentially, orientation kicks off today officially for our summer sessions and workshops. And we have many of our campus partners from different offices and departments around campus. They're hosting over 55 sessions and workshops throughout the summer. So your new student orientation all summer long is about 14 weeks from now up until when you arrive September 17th to start your fall welcome. And so these sessions and workshops will cover all sorts of topics such as more housing information, talking about how your career aspirations can impact choosing your major, various physical and mental health resources for you to discover, and also a lot of information about how to get involved on campus once you get here. You can check out our website again for a full list of sessions, whether you go to the first year student page, the transfer student page, or the family, parent, and supporter page that we have. We have a list of those sessions, and this will also include sign-up links so that you can RSVP and receive a link to participate in these sessions. They all will be virtual all summer long. We won't have any in-person sessions until September 17th when we start fall welcome, but all of our sessions will be available to you to sign up for through our website, and you've got a link to a Zoom meeting that you can attend. Our first few sessions, we have a few welcome sessions for different groups that start tomorrow, so make sure that you check those out. You can sign up for those now. Also, we started orientation groups next week, so the OLs that you just met will start hosting those, and you can sign up for those as well on our website. All right, academic advising and course registration. I know we've gotten lots of questions about this. We did send out folks, the schools and colleges, the advising centers, they sent out emails last week that were admittedly quite long, but we hope to capture as much information as possible in there that outlines a step-by-step process of what your journey through advising and course registration will look like from now up until your time when you get here in September. So please make sure to read that. We try to outline as much as possible to really front load that information for you. First year students, make sure you look out for an email the week of June 27th. There's going to be a lot of information in here that includes the academic advisor that you will be assigned to for the summer, who's going to be your go-to contact for questions, and also instructions on how to sign up for your advising and your registration workshops. So you will attend in July one academic advising workshop and one course registration workshop. We're going to have academic advisors and academic staff who will help to walk you through this process. The best thing you can do to prepare is go to our Canvas modules that we invited you to, and there are two in particular called Academic Advising 101 and Course Registration 101. These outline step-by-step how you can look up your courses online, how you can see what your degree requirements are, depending on whether you're in honors or maybe you're bringing credits for you or what your major is. There might be specific things to look for. We've outlined all of those steps there for you so that you can check that out. Transfer students, if you have not already connected with your academic advisor, you can log into your admissions portal and follow the steps on your new student checklist so that you can register for your courses. As a reminder, all first year students are required to take the Algebra Math Placement exam. You should have received an invitation to a Canvas group to complete this exam. There's a frequently asked question page there, and the deadline to complete this is Friday, July 1st. The exam is an hour long and you only get one chance to take it. I know we've had some questions about, is it definitely required? And some folks saw different language on different websites. So I do want to clarify that all first year students are required to take it. Even if you're bringing AP credits, SAT or ACT scores, please still take the exam. We do have a very, very small caveat for some students coming from Washington State with Running Start credits. If you are a business major, a STEM major, or a nursing major, you have to take the math placement exam. If you're not in one of those majors, you can contact your academic advisor the week of June 27th to ask them if you should still take the math placement exam. I would say to be safe, you should probably still take the exam anyway to make sure we have that score. We're going to use that score and every other score, the full picture of all your credits, everything you're bringing with you to place you into the highest level math course that's most appropriate for your skill level. I referenced our transition modules on Canvas, so we have our advising and registration modules there, but we have a few others talking about what it means to be an SU student, Seattle U's Jesuit character, how to navigate wellness and finances as a college student. And we have a couple more coming about how to use our different student employment resources that we'll have, and also the common text read that will be mailed to you at the end of the month. We've made these as interactive as possible, so along the way, you can also see how other peers in your class, Red Hawks, are interacting with some of the questions and information. And we put a lot of really beefed up information here, hoping that it's a centralized place for a lot of your questions. And really the idea of the transition modules is to set you up for success throughout the summer to be ready to start here in the fall. So please make sure to look through those. We highly encourage to complete all of those before you get here in September. Another exciting component of the orientation program is that student clubs and organizations are going to be hosting socials starting in August and through September to get to know you. And so besides connecting with orientation leaders, you're going to have a chance to meet other Red Hawks by signing up for these socials. We don't have the links live for those yet, but we plan to by July 1st. So these are groups that you will have the opportunity to join starting this fall. All sorts. We have groups from club sports, we have cultural groups who are hosting socials, all sorts of involvement that you can think of. Any group or club that we have, we're hoping that they're going to host a social. So we already have over a dozen, and a few of them who have carved out time over the summer to host this. They're super excited to meet you. They're excited to share information about getting involved. There's volunteer groups. We'll have some religious and spirituality groups and many more. So starting July 1, we'll post those on our website for you to sign up. And again, those are going to be taking place in August and September. So, you know, as the summer is winding down, it's an opportunity to meet new friends and new folks who are current SU students that can tell you about organizations, how to get involved, and also share with you their experiences of being an SU student. Lastly, fall welcome. So our summer sessions are building up to your arrival to campus in September. So whether you're moving in on Saturday, September 17th, or you're going to be living nearby and you're going to be joining us, programming for Fall Welcome starts Saturday, September 17th. So we're going to have a series of programs and events that will take place through the end of your first week of class. You'll start Saturday. We have a big chunk of exciting programming taking place those first few days up until your classes start on Wednesday, September 21st. And then we'll have more events still taking place throughout the rest of the week. Fall Welcome is specifically planned for new students, so you have an opportunity to connect with fellow Red Hawks, staff and faculty at Seattle U, and also get into more learning opportunities and social opportunities related to academic life at Seattle U. So just to tease with some of these events, you're going to have meetings with your orientation leader, meetings with your resident assistant if you're living on campus. We'll have our convocation, which is our official academic welcome to campus, dialogues about our common textbook that you'll be able to read over the summer. Each of your schools or colleges is going to have an induction ceremony just to welcome you to their academic community. We're going to have a large class photo experience at Red Fest at the very end of Fall Welcome, excursions out into the city around Seattle's campus, Seattle U's campus, and so much more. We'll provide some meals for you and family members at the end of the day on Saturday, September 17th, after folks have moved in and arrived to campus. We'll have a family farewell as well. So as you are departing each other for this exciting moment and your next step with the Seattle U community, we'll have that time where you can say farewell to each other. So we do have some family programming as well as our family hospitality tent too. So more information about Fall Welcome will be available probably around late July, and we'll have a schedule for folks that you can start referring to as well. I know that's a quick, very dense overview of our program, and we only have so much time today to talk through and answer your questions. So if that overview didn't answer all your questions, please email us at orientation@seattleu.edu or check out our website for some quick answers as well. So with that, I know folks still have some Q&A going, so please keep those questions going. We're trying to answer them as quickly as possible. I know a lot of folks talked about Discord. So I do want to say there's a few different Discords that Seattle U does have. There's one that is a campus-wide one, but we've also created a Discord specifically for first-year students and one also specifically for transfer students. And so these are Discords where the orientation leaders are going to be involved answering your questions. And these are just for your communities to get to know other first-year students and to get to know other transfer students. We've had a lot of success with these in the past. Students really enjoy them and they're really popular. So if you scan the QR code based on whether you're a first year or a transfer student, you'll go to a form. We just ask that you sign some and agree to some community agreements in there. And then after you do that, it will bring you to the page that has the link for the Discord communities. So we'll leave this screen up and we will leave that as an opportunity for you to join our communities. So I'm just going to open the chat real quickly before we wrap up. Yes, I noticed we posted here. We are going to have a recording of this event probably on Thursday because we need just a couple minutes to, or a couple of days to set up our video and do any editing. We are going to share this video out. We're aiming for Thursday. And we are also going to include some follow-up information based on some of your frequently asked questions to send that out to everyone. So make sure your Discord tag is your username in Discord. That should have some numbers next to it. I just saw that question pop up. So I want to make sure that we answer that. But make sure you check your Seattle U email account, I would say multiple times a day. Stuff that's coming from us, from advisors, your sign up links that you use for different events, that information is going to go to your Seattle U email account. And so make sure you check that regularly so you get all of our communications. We are still going to use stuff from your personal email that you use in your admissions portal, but keep checking your Seattle U email. That's one of the most important things that you can do this summer to be set up for success to get here in September. So with that, I know we're still answering a few other questions in the chats and in our Q&A sessions. And so I know I see a question about COVID that we're working on answering. We still have COVID safety and protection information on our website. If you go to Seattle U website and you type COVID in the search box, it will bring you to some of our student health information pages about COVID specifically. So we are in person this fall. We have been in person for the most part since this past fall, and we are moving forward in that direction. You can also find information about immunizations and COVID vaccination on that page as well. So we are at 5:58. So with that, I'm going to start wrapping this up so we wrap up on time. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know folks are calling in from all sorts of time zones, all sorts of locations all over the place. I think we had about 430 of you at least, not including your families and supporters who are joining us. So thank you again. Thank you for the shout out, Ethan. I appreciate that. We are so excited to have you join us. Please don't hesitate to email us at orientation@seattleu.edu. And with that, we'll be here for just a couple more minutes, but I see folks are logging off. Don't hesitate to contact us. Check your SU email, take your math placement exam, and we will see you in the fall. Thanks, folks.